Alright, so this is going to be a video talking about how to get seamless tileable normal maps. And essentially what happens is if I have a mesh or tileable mesh that I'm trying to bake, normal maps, ambient occlusion, all these sort of maps out of, the mesh itself, that tile's fine in the maps, but when I use this apply diffusion, it doesn't work so well. And so I want to show a workaround for making this section right here seamless. And then first of all, I just want to sort of show what the problem is, and if I can find it. Jeez. Here we go. Alright, if I drag this up here, you can see that the mesh part of it tiles just fine. The applied diffusion part, you get this sort of ugly seam in here. And there's a way to make it so that, if I still have it, I think it's this one, where you can get it seamless, and yeah, that's what this video is going to cover. First of all, let me go to the content browser, and I'll boot up this right here. And this is the tileable mesh, and this plane represents the, like the texture sheet. And so anything that, that will be baked from here onto here, that's the result that I want to end up with. In order to make this work, what we're going to do is we're going to make a texture sheet that, if we're going to end up with a 2K map, so we'll end up baking a 4K map and then cropping it down to get like a seamless part from the interior. It's a little confusing, it's probably just easier to show. So I'm going to take all my pieces and group them, and then scale them down 0.5 like that. Duplicate, move to the middle, and then delete the overlap. And then if I were to divide this quadrant, this plane here up into quadrants, this plane as a whole represents a 4K texture sheet. This little section right here represents a 2K texture sheet. And the geometry that you see here is what will end up being baked, or what we'll end up with. I hope that makes sense. So the other thing is I'm going to just smooth each one of these a couple of times because we are going to bake the geometry. I want this to be clean. I'll export that out. Alright. Geometry, alright. And then this substance painter, I've got it set to 4K. And we're just going to do the normal for now. And you can see that I'm doing that same piece of geometry. Okay, cool. And then if I export this out, and let's see, I'm going to get rid of, also I think I did the wrong thing. Let me see. I just had to delete some textures from that folder. So you don't want Unreal Engine 4, you're going to want additional tech maps here. And so that way we can get the normal. Okay. And so this is the bake result. And if I tile that thing, should be working. There we go. You can see that we get that seam happening on the edges of the map, but not in the middle of the map. And that's sort of the whole idea behind this thing, is that we're not getting any seams within the interior, just at the edges. So we're going to do the crop in the middle, and then that section will be tileable. Okay, so I'll drag this in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this thing. Hold Alt, and I want to crop it to 2048. And it's probably a better way to do this. 2048. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to move. Then I'm going to move it straight down, like that. Hit Enter. Excuse me. And now I have a map which should be totally tileable. And if I click on spectacles, I think, yeah, you can see that it's tileable there. And so many glitches. Alright, if I export this out, file, save as rather, and we'll do TIFF, we'll just call it tileable results. You can see this is the folder that I'm using. So I'll open this up. I'm going to drag tileable result onto here. And then as we zoom out, we don't get that seam. So this was the original, right? And then this right here is the tileable result. So yeah, hopefully that helps. That's basically it.